And now we'll stay standing. We'll do an invocation, and then we'll have a song that Bree has chosen for us. So, good morning. Source Creator, raise us up each and every day to feel divine love, to open to divine love, and to express divine love through us in all we do. And at this time, we're going to sing
16, Amazing Grace.
Amazing Grace, number 16, and Wings of Song. Loud enough? Oh, okay.
Just want to keep the mic out of your face.
Will last. Awesome. Thank you, everybody. All right. Well, my name is Sue Brewer. I'm the president of the Board of Trustees. And I want to welcome you all again to Lake Superior Interfaith Community Church. Today we have some very lovely things going on. Today our speaker is Bree Monahan. She's been coming recently, and we love having new people come and join us. Her topic today is health and how it relates to spirituality. So that is going to be very exciting. She's got some slides to show us and some other stuff to talk about. So we'll be into that in just a bit. Today we have a healing meditation by Debbie Guitar, and she will be coming up in just a bit to help us with our healing session. And all right, Wednesday, March 18th is the book group that Sue Hall and her friends are organizing about the law of attraction and Abraham Hicks. And that's going to be up here at 6:30 in the meditation room. Now, the big news is the movie is coming called True North. True North is a very inspiring, outgoing movie. We not only have the woman, Jan Barish, who produced the movie, but we have two people who were highly involved in the movie as well, coming up on Sunday the 30th to join us in viewing the movie, and they will have an introduction, and they will also have questions and answers afterward. So that is the big deal, and so please come and join us for the movie. There are flyers on the back table that I had printed up, so you can put them somewhere where you think someone might see it. So, and so we can get more people to come. It's a free event, goodwill offering, so please spread the word and let people know that it's coming. Now, you may have also noticed if you came in downstairs, there's a little table on the side, kind of like we had for our Christmas winter drive for CHUM, for food, for hats, coats, mittens, blah, 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 for Christmas time. Now they're working on a food drive. It's called Minnesota Food Share. They get like 3 times the amount of money we donate to them at this time of year. Also, they are looking to collect over 40,000 pounds of canned or preserved food that they can give out at the shelter. So I put a table up. If you want to donate, there's plenty of room for stuff to be put on the table. Plus, there's a little basket in case you'd rather give cash. So that is our little contribution to that.
Just one comment. If you give cash for every $1 we give, Chum turns it into $3.
Yeah, they get 3 times the amount this time. So, yeah. So also, one other thing, on our back table, There's a little booklet, and I'm calling it a guest book. If you are not on our mailing list and would like to be on our mailing list for email address for our newsletter, our weekly newsletter, you can put your email address down and your name and any other information you want us to know about you. So please, if you want to get more information about us, sign up on our little guest book back there. Now, next week, as far as I know, I'm done with the announcements. Next week, Debbie Guitar will be our speaker, and she will be talking about grief, the new world and oneness. Is that right? Oneness. What do they have in common? All right. I was writing it down really fast. Sorry. Okay. So I think, does anyone else have any other announcements? We do have a board meeting today in case any of you are interested, but it's not, it's up to you. If you want to come and join us, it's not really exciting. But anyway, so it could be dramatic. Yes, it can be dramatic. Okay, so at this point, let us take a look at our little white cards. We're going to read our Declaration of Principles. All right. So, we believe God is the eternal source and creator of all and is present in everything. Our eternal soul, endowed with free will, grows through many lifetimes. Communication occurs between the physical and spiritual worlds. Prayer and meditation strengthen our connection to the divine. All healing comes from Source. Seeking this for ourselves and compassion for others suffering is the highest priority. Because we are all one, what we do unto others, we do unto ourselves. The choice of love is always open for every soul. Living these principles leads us to grow in divine love. And speaking of love, let us give some love to people who need our assistance, who are in need of healing. Our healing bowl is over here, and you can put a name in the bowl at any time, either physically on a piece of paper or intentionally. And we pray over that bowl 24/7 so that any prayers we need answered, we hope to get done through our bowl. Does anybody have any prayer requests at this time? Oh, somebody's got to have a prayer request.
You know, we just are approaching the equinox, and we've just been through an incredible eclipse. And as I follow the messages, this is an incredible time for Gaia. And so let us all pray, whenever we think of it, for ourselves to be clear vessels of love, holding our frequency high. We're so aware of frequency now, holding our gratitude, our compassion, and our love for our planet, for our ascension, and for ourselves, our own soul, what we're bringing to the table of life. Blessed. Thank you.
All right. And let's ask for healing for all of us. Somewhere deep inside all of us, I think we have something that needs healing. I know I do. So with that in mind, let us sing In the Silence, which is number 74 in Wings of Song. After that, we'll have a moment of silence, and then Debbie will do her healing meditation.
Good morning, everyone. I hope my voice will work this morning. So let's settle in, get all the wiggles out, our hands either at our side gently or palms up on top of your thighs. Get your feet settled in and gently close your eyes. We're going to focus on our breathing. We want to become aware of our breathing. We're going to breathe in through our nose to the count of 4 and out through our mouth through the count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Out. 1, 2, 3, 4. In. 1, 2, 3, 4. Out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Visualize and feel this breath as it travels deep down, filling your lungs. And again, let's breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Know that each inhalation you are breathing in is pure energy, the energies of vitality and health. As you exhale, feel your body relaxing. Feel your shoulders come down. The muscles in your back are releasing. Your toes are grounded on this earth. Your legs are relaxing. You're gently releasing all the stored toxins of accumulated stress and negativity. Feel the nourishment of the life force energy with each inhalation and the sense of deep peace that each exhalation brings. Now bring your focus into your being. See your physical body in your mind's eye and sense and see the renewed life force that is within your body. As you start to become aware of the warmth within you, know this warmth comes from the energy tingling in each of your cells as it expands and extends into your aura. See your energy ebb and flow as it becomes one with everything around you, connecting you with every living thing, with all of nature and all of existence. Sense the connection you have with Earth. Let your body acknowledge the Earth as you imagine the first ancestors of the land where you are sitting. May we honor the indigenous peoples of this land. May we honor their wisdom and memory, past, present, and future. Look to your left. You see a gentle flowing river. It appears before you. Know that this river has been fed by rains and the fresh melting snows as it moves unhurried to the sea, where it will touch all other bodies of water on earth. May we honor the earth and air that nourish and connect us. As you continue to breathe in and out, a small shape takes form in front of you. A small child is standing before you. Behind the child stands her parents, and behind her parents stands her grandparents. Behind the grandparents are their grandparents. You can feel their joy, wisdom, and compassion emanating from their auras. You can sense their courage as they stand before you. All humankind is kin, so all ancestors are available to you when you summon them with integrity. Place your attention now on your heart. Place both of your hands on your heart center and take a deep breath in. Let it go. Let it go. You are the link between the past and the future. With the earth under you and the waters around you, with ancestors behind you and the children of the future before you, may you find the wisdom you need to be brave within your life. Slowly, slowly start to feel your body. Start to come back into your body by wiggling your toes, your fingers, gently opening your eyes as you return to this time and this place. Feel the presence and love your ancestors have given you today. You are blessed.
There we go. That's loud. Okay, who am I? Well, I am Bree Montgomery. And why should you trust me telling you how to be healthy? Well, the answer to that question is simple. You should not trust me to tell you how to be healthy, okay? We are coming into this new age, and I know you can feel it, where there is a disintegration of all institutions that we've put our sovereignty and our authority into. And so now all of those institutions are disintegrating, and the question, what we're being called to do, is to go inward and develop our own discernment. What is our discernment? Our discernment is our connection with the divine. It's our intuition. It is our inner world. And so to kind of explain that, we'll be real light and discuss the nature of reality. So when I talk about this reality, I'm going to talk about, I'll refer to it as the three-dimensional reality. So Eve eats an apple, and she drops into the world of opposites. So the world of duality is just a fancy way of saying the world of opposites, the world of tension. So astrology does a pretty good job of explaining that. Astrology is the study of how all energy comes into form in the 3D world. So it comes into form in 4 ways, which is earth, wind, water, and fire. And if you think about that, like most people know their sun sign. So I am a Leo. There is a negative aspect of a Leo, and there's a positive aspect of a Leo. So a negative aspect would be like greedy, egotistical, gluttonous, and the positive aspect would be generous, a great leader. You know, so there's a tension there between all spectrums of energy. And we as spiritual beings come into this world to face that tension so that we can grow from it. But what we're feeling right now is all of the opposites. And we can see that as we look into the political sphere, which is a contentious topic, right? But we can see even as in this last presidential election. So we have men against women, red against blue, cities against rural, black against white. Everything that's coming into this place, when we can feel it, we kind of know what's happening, but we can't put words to it. It's confusing, it's chaotic. But from that is where I think the pressure comes for us to turn inward and develop our own discernment. It's also a place, right, so for you to recognize what comes up for you as you're watching all of this, even on the political sphere. I want you to imagine the political sphere as like the manifestation of the collective unconscious. And then you get information from that and you filter it through your own trauma. But what I want you to recognize is when you are triggered, you don't need somebody else to think what you think in order for yourself to be happy. We got to live by that mantra. So we can recognize when we see something that we're triggered by, that that's work that we have to do. That's work that still exists within us. And that is work that's going to not allow us to really get into our own discernment. So you can change the slide. Oh, I think you have to do the. Oh. Steve. There we go. We got it. We got it. Yes. Like this. Okay. So in order for us to access these parts of ourselves, we have to have a healthy nervous system. And we have to realize that there's a reason that we are unhealthy. So we'll talk about some of the negative stuff first, but don't worry, we'll get positive after this. I don't want to just tell you all of the negative things, but I'm sure if you've been listening lately, you have seen sort of the catastrophic health that we're facing, especially as the United States. I mean, you can look at these this slide here, about 70% of adults are overweight or obese, 1 in 3 adults are pre-diabetic, cancer is climbing, obesity has tripled, increases in all diseases almost. So to me, that is extinction level results. We have to be looking as to why this is happening. Next slide. Is this good? So it all starts with this nefarious actor here, whose name is John D. Rockefeller. For those of you who, I think we all kind of know the Rockefellers, but he happened to be one of the richest people the turn of the century from oil. And being the bright businessman that he was, he realized that there was a market for medicine. So he turns his petroleum into pharmaceuticals. And then he realizes, hey, there's other types of medicine that are being practiced. You know, there's practices being pulled from Native American healing, there's homeopathy. Well, what we have to do is make those people seem crazy, because then I make more money, which of course is saturating the market and brilliant if your goal is just to be rich. So we have to give him a little bit of credit there, but he basically writes a report, it's called the Flexner Report, degrading all these other forms of medicine, so he has a hold on the market. And then he merges with the Carnegie Foundation, and they create an organization called the American Medical Association. Now, the American Medical Association is who credits any medical schools, and they're also the ones who are giving the grants for studying. So, of course, they're going to give money to the schools that are studying petrochemicals, and they're going to give grants also to the people that are studying petrochemicals. So this is not saying that Western medicine doesn't have its place. It's saying that what we've done is just completely cut off any other forms that might work really well with this type of medicine, or that might have other health benefits. Okay, next slide. Hopefully. There we go. So this is just an example of regulatory capture. So people who have worked in the FDA or the CDC now sit on boards of the pharmaceutical companies that they once were regulating. So you can kind of see how this backdoor organizations kind of work. We don't want to dwell on that too long. Next slide. Just so you're getting an idea of maybe the type of healthcare advice that you're getting maybe isn't in your best interest, or maybe isn't the full picture. So there was one other, but whatever, we'll skip it. This is a long talk anyways. So that's just a general idea of like maybe we're not getting the best medical advice that we could be getting. So now we're going to talk about our environment and our food, the farming practices that we participate in the United States. So what kind of crops do we grow that the taxpayers pay for? The type of crops we grow are soy, wheat, and corn, monoculture cropping. They're so cheap that they've become about 60% of what we eat. It's turned our fields into monoculture wastelands. That means that we spray the crap out of these fields with glyphosate, which is so bad for us. There was just recently a lawsuit. So glyphosate is made by a company called Monsanto. We realize that this glyphosate is causing a type of cancer called non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Monsanto then merges with Bayer, who is the pharmaceutical company that owns the patent on the drug that cures the non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So, right, so both of those companies together are poisoning you. So the way out of that is really regenerative farming. We've been hearing so long that cows are destroying our environment. But when you think back to when bison roamed the earth, there was at least as many bison as there are cows now. So it's not the animal that's doing that to our planet, it is the farming practices. Because the cows are really the hero of this whole operation. Right now our soil is unable to hold water, it's unable to absorb carbon. But when cows are pooping on the property and the farming is where the soil is allowed to rest, you don't farm it every single season, you grow a diverse culture of other crops, and you have livestock, then you get healthy soil that can actually absorb carbon. So now we're talking about, oh, like, you know, we have so many carbon emissions and we are having all this climate change. But really, if we could change our farming practices, that would be the best thing that we could do for our soil to capture the carbon. Okay, next one. Oh, this gets interesting. Okay. So now we have our medicine, we have our farming, and then we have these other nefarious actors who are the tobacco companies who actually purchased the processed food companies in the 90s when they realized, oh, hey, like we're not going to be able to survive much longer because people are turning on to the fact that we're poisoning them. We got to get into another market. But they were so brilliant at understanding addiction and marketing. So they come in with their addiction scientists and their marketing professionals, and the products that they create are actually 29% more addictive because of the way that than their competitors who are making the same types of food. Because of the way that they structured the sodium, salt, and sugar to release dopamine in your brain so that you cannot override the satiety signals. They know exactly what they're doing to flood your body so that you don't stop eating. And what's interesting about this now is they've just been caught actually trying to re-engineer food to override Ozempic, because Ozempic, the shots that people are giving themselves to stop hunger cues, is interfering with their bottom line. So they're now trying to make people not be able to have the satiety cues, which is just evil. Okay, next one. So, right, another thing that we're facing that really starts to cause us inflammation and health problems, which make it hard to be healthy, obviously, are these forever chemicals. And when you think about forever chemicals, they're like Teflon, Scotchgard, firefighting foam. What makes them special is their carbon-fluorine bonds, some of the strongest in organic chemistry, which is also what makes them hard for us to rid ourselves of these things in our bodies, and for the earth to rid itself of this from our body. So the average person now is eating about a credit card size of plastic a year. It takes about 2 to 8 years for your body to rid itself of this, which is causing endocrine disruptions, meaning they mess with your hormones, they bind to receptors, which regulate fat metabolism. They can throw off thyroid function, insulin sensitivity, and even immune responses. There's evidence tying them to liver damage, higher cholesterol, and developmental delays in children. But we're all going to be exposed to some level. I mean, this is in our bodies. It's just we have to mitigate how much that we're exposed to. So a few of the things that we can do, okay, we're going to take a little turn and be a little bit more positive here. That's some bad news that we're being poisoned, but there's some good news that we can stop this and mitigate this. One of the most helpful things you can do for forever chemicals, you can go back to the other slide, is filter your water. So about 83% of the water that's tested in the United States, we find these chemicals in. Reverse osmosis is the best way that we know of to get that out. So that's where you want to start. Ditch the nonstick cookware. You know, trade Teflon in for stainless steel, cast iron, or ceramic. So when we're talking about forever chemicals, one way of thinking about them is just that water-resistant black spray. It was originally invented in the military, actually. And then we thought, oh, well, we could put this in people's kitchens. So food packaging is something you want to think of. So eat at home when you can. You know, like burger wrappers, pizza boxes, microwave popcorn's a really bad one. Plastic, when it interacts with heat, Is pretty bad. So canned soups, actually usually the soup goes into a can when it's hot, and then the inside of cans now all have plastic lining. So you are getting the microplastics when you drink that, which is so unfortunate because I love sparkling water. And one thing that kind of is odd, and I've turned into the crazy person telling everyone this, is actually receipts. Receipts have a chemical sprayed on them, and you have a lot of pores in your hands. Actually, if you use hand sanitizer before you touch a receipt, you get 1,000 times more exposure to that chemical. So do what you can to not touch receipts. Of course, it's a bigger deal for someone who's like working in retail and handing receipts to people all day. So if you do that, be careful, maybe wear a glove. It's also on your gear, like your waterproof gear. So now when you buy things like rain jackets, just read the labeling. And we now have seen it in sweat coming out of people in saunas. So we know that we can secrete it through our sweat. So the general rule of thumb is saunas 4 days a week, 175 degrees plus for 20 minutes plus. Sounds such a great thing that you can do for your health. So the big picture is just reduce it where you can, but know what you're dealing with. Okay, now you can change it. Okay. Now we talk about our food. So those monoculture farms that we were talking about before that are sprayed to crap with pesticides and terrible for our earth, they all go into making our processed foods. Sugary cereal, sodas, chips, crackers, everything that's on the inside of the grocery store is what that monoculture farming is giving us. That is also mixed with seed oil. Seed oil is kind of new in the zeitgeist. A lot of conversations happening around that right now. And I'm going to give you the information. I want you to practice this as I give you this information. Like, I'm going to give you this information and then hold it and see if seed oils are good for you or not good for you. But a seed oil is like canola oil, corn oil, cottonseed, soy, sunflower, safflower, grapeseed, and rice bran. Okay. They do contribute to chronic inflammation, heart disease, diabetes, obesity, and cancer. I'm just going to tell you how these things are made and why people assume they're healthy. Number one, you collect the seeds. So you collect soybeans, corn, or sunflower seeds. And they're harvested from where? The type of farming that we were talking about before. You heat them at high temperatures, rupturing the cell wall and facilitating oil extraction. This step oxidizes polyunsaturated fatty acids, PUFAs, particularly omega-6s. They create harmful compounds such as free radicals and trans fats. Then we do a solvent extraction. A petroleum-based solvent, typically hexane, is used to dissolve and extract oil from the seeds. Then we go through a degumming and neutralization stage where the crude oil is treated with water or acid to remove gums and impurities, followed by alkaline solution to neutralize free fatty acids. Then we bleach them. This is your food we're talking about, you guys. The oil is filtered through clay or other agents to remove color, pigments, and impurities. Then the deodorization process. The oil is heated under a vacuum up to 500 degrees Fahrenheit to remove odors and volatile compounds. This process creates additional trans fats. Then we add the additives and the packaging. So preservatives like TBHQ, BHA, and BHT, considered carcinogenic and banned in some countries, are often added to extend the shelf life. And then the oil is packaged in what? Plastic, okay? So what happened was Procter & Gamble in the early 1900s again, they had a byproduct of the cotton, which was cottonseed, and they needed to make more money. So they decided to create an oil out of it. Then they paid off the American Heart Association $1.7 million so that they could elevate the organization's profile and its endorsement of polyunsaturated fats, including seed oils, as heart healthy. Nefarious. So terrible. So, this is Yes, this is, you can go back to that one, yes. Whatever. So, this one. Fine, good. So we just need to know that when we shop at the grocery store, we eat like our ancestors. We shop the outer perimeter. None of this crappy food with the monocropping crops and then the seed oil combined into it. And then it has MSG and maltodextrin usually. And every single type of food in that middle section of the grocery store is made with those ingredients. We think we have so much variety, but it's all really that crappy list of ingredients. So when I go to the grocery store and I look at the ingredients, I'm looking at one ingredient foods. So when I pick up my carton of milk, it says that it comes from milk. You know, it's milk. That's what's in there. When I pick up my roast, it's beef. So one ingredient, think about how your ancestors ate. Best thing you can do for your health. Now this is where my true love is. This is building muscle. Women especially have been given the worst advice for how to be healthy because we've been taught, you know, the only thing that we can do is cardio. And really it's the gym bros who we've all thought were just idiots and been smeared as idiots in culture for so long. They're the smartest ones. They have the information that we need, which is build muscle. Do what you can to build muscle. Muscle is an organ, and even at rest, it's using calories. So it is metabolically active. It also pulls glucose out of the bloodstream. You literally need to do 20 or 30-minute sessions 2 to 3 times a week if you're a beginner. That's it. Like you can build muscle with just that, and at any age. We start losing about 1 to 2% muscle a year after the age of 40. So if you are not proactive about this, you are going to lose your muscle, and then you're going to be at risk for any metabolic disease, Alzheimer's, diabetes. This is what we're seeing. Actually, what's so fascinating is you can be obese and you can have little muscle, and they both give you the same exact health outcomes. So it is a little bit dangerous when you start thinking about people who are taking Ozempic and they just stop eating and all their muscle atrophies. They're not in a better off health position at all. So if you're thinking about using that medication, you have to make sure that you're eating 1 gram of protein per pound. And if you think you eat a lot of protein and you're not tracking it, my daughter knows, you do not eat enough protein. If you think about even someone who says, well, I eat meat for every meal. Well, if the standard amount of protein in a serving of meat is about 30 grams, you're getting 90 grams per day, which if you weigh 150 pounds, that's not enough. So you really do have to write it down. What you write down, you know, it's way easier to see the improvement, to see where you're lacking. You can start, because building muscle is training your nervous system. I think that's what a lot of people don't quite understand, how important that is to train your nervous system. You can do this at home. You don't have to join a gym. You can focus on compound movements. Compound movements just means that you're using more muscles to do one move. So a squat, a lunge, push-ups. Now, because we're working our nervous systems, I'm going to try to make this as simple as possible, but I have 10 pounds and I'm doing a bicep curl. I'm going to do it 10 times. Well, my nervous system says, oh man, she's using excess energy right here at the bicep. We're going to go in there and give her a little bit more energy in the form of muscle. And then she can do that 10 times easily. Right? So now I can do this 10 times easily. My body's not going to put any more muscle there until I increase the stimulus. So now after about 2 weeks, I'm going to go 15 times, right? Then my body says, oh man, she's using more energy right there. We have to pack on a little bit more energy in the form of muscle at that bicep. Every about 2 weeks, your body adapts. Your body and your nervous system is an adaptation machine. It is so sophisticated. But we know this, and we know how to override it so that we can build the muscle that we need to build. And that's just by doing a little bit more every couple weeks. That's called, in the industry, progressive overload. All progressive overload means is that you do a little bit more every couple weeks. You don't do a lot more, okay? It's like a sunburn. It's like you go out in the sun a little bit at a time. Just going out in the sun and getting fried doesn't do you any good. You gotta take it slow. So I think we kind of get a lot in these mental states where we think, well, if riding my bike 10 miles is good, 50 miles should be better. Or if eating 1,500 calories a day is good, well, 0 must be the best. That's not true. So we got to take it a little bit slow. A couple things that you get points for is if you sit on the ground every day. If you can sit on the ground every day. Like I get ready in the morning sitting on the ground, so I never lose that. If you can't sit on the ground, sit on whatever you can that's as low as possible. And then again, remember every 2 weeks, get it a little bit lower, get it a little bit lower. And your body will adapt over time and be able to do that, no matter what age or what kind of health condition that you are in. And then if they make these pull-up bars that you can just put on your door frame, and your grip strength is connected to your longevity. So having proper grip strength is so important for your health and for your nervous system. If you can hang from something every day, beautiful. Start implementing that. So 2 great purchases, adjustable dumbbells, because when we're doing our squats, we can hold 10 pounds in each hand for 2 weeks. Then we can adjust it to 15 pounds and do lunges or squats in 2 weeks. Then in 2 weeks, we can add another 5 pounds. So if you get adjustable dumbbells, you can really, really work your compound movements. Okay. Well, and a few other things about muscle. I mean, it is supporting your ligaments and your joints. But it's not just about your body. So when you have muscle, it also releases chemicals that reduce inflammation and protect your brain. So it's just so funny to me that we've always been like, oh, these gym bros are so stupid. And really, they have been the smartest ones, taking such good care of their body. Okay. Now walking, I mean, everybody knows you got to get your 10,000 steps a day. Your 10,000 steps a day is not building muscle. Those are 2 separate things, okay? We don't put those things into the same category. I know you're going to hate me for that. But walking lowers your risk for cardiovascular disease, dementia, and all-cause mortality. It shifts basically the program that your nervous system runs on, from the stress program to the relaxation program. What happens when we're at relaxation, the parasympathetic nervous system? That's where we're accessing our intuition. We can't be accessing that when everything in our body is shut down, our blood is moved into our vital organs, when we're in our stress response, right? We have to access it when we're resting and digesting. So walking actually moves us into a place where we can get into our discernment, get into our inner knowing, hear the voice of our higher self. It also is enhancing our memory and sensory integration. So we have a better life when we're moving our bodies and our nervous system is functioning the way it should. Grounding is sort of a new thing where we're realizing that the earth has a negative charge, and if we step on it, we reduce inflammation in our own bodies, and you really only need to do that for about 10 minutes. So if you take your shoes off and you are on the earth, so good for you. Yes. Light health. This is kind of a new one that it's just kind of reaching the zeitgeist now, but your brain has a clock that syncs it to a 24-hour cycle. Those first minutes of sunlight that you get are what tells your brain to produce melatonin 12 to 14 hours later. So if this is one that full transparency, I am the worst morning person. I wake up so groggy, and it's so hard for me to get off of my phone and get outside and get natural sunlight through my eyelids with no sunglasses on, okay? To get that vitamin D, because your body is making that through its eyelids from the sun. So this is one that I really, really struggle with, but the same is true for when you are winding down for the evening. So blue light, the light that's coming off of our cell phones, is suppressing melatonin. So you've got to think about being off of that and having red light or low lighting, lamp lighting about 2 hours before you go to bed, especially if you're struggling with sleep. That blue light is just going to blast you and make you not produce melatonin, so it's going to be a lot harder to fall asleep. And then that does regulate mood and energy too. So that master clock is really, so it's not even just about sleeping, right? It's about being happier, essentially. But sleep's also important, which is my next one. Good job. You know, everyone talks about sleep, 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 sleep. It's so important. I don't mean to be a broken record, but if you skip it, there are consequences, especially as it relates to your nervous system. So one super fascinating thing is when you sleep enough, so 7 to 9 hours, you actually can perceive more color. You can perceive more information. Your life is richer and fuller because you've slept. If you don't sleep, you impair your prefrontal cortex, reducing sensory clarity. So you're not getting as much information if you're not sleeping. A few things that really help, of course, we talked about the morning light, no caffeine after 2 o'clock. In a cool room, like 68 degrees or cooler, has been very, very helpful in people getting the proper amount of sleep and recovery that they need. Actually, if you sleep a full 7 to 9 hours, you have better sound discrimination and you're able to pick up more nuance. Like if you're talking to a friend and they're sort of trying to hide that they're upset. Well, if you're well rested, you're much more likely to be able to pick up on those cues, which is fascinating. So your relationships even get better if you sleep more. Okay, next one. A little help. There are a few supplements that I really do think make a difference. A lot of them are just about kind of splitting hairs, but these 3, every single person should be on. I mean, maybe not vitamin D if you've had it tested and your levels are good, but for sure creatine. We used to think of creatine as just things that only bodybuilder dudes were doing. No. It is so good for you. It's the most studied supplement on planet Earth. The cognitive benefits alone of creatine, about 3 to 5 grams a day. I take 10 grams a day. But the recommended dose is about 3 to 5 grams a day. Neuroprotective. It also can mitigate not sleeping 7 to 9 hours. So this is one of the only things that can really help us the next morning if we're not sleeping well. It puts water molecules back into your muscles too, so that helps your muscles recover. Magnesium, I mean, I think we've all been hearing about this. It's responsible for about 600 interactions in your body. It also relates to your nervous system. It helps you to be calm. Magnesium, wonderful. Most people are deficient in it, and especially if you're active. So make sure you look at that. Vitamin D, this is one that needs to be tested. You can have toxic amounts of vitamin D, although where we live, we probably don't. I take 10,000 IUs a day, although this is the recommended dose, but you do have to be careful with that one. Okay. Keep it going. Mental health, meditation, breath work. Yes. So like we just did, when we do meditation and breath work, we can actually change the structure of our brains. And I'm talking 5 minutes a day. You don't have to do much. You can get more gray matter, more glial cells. So when they did an autopsy on Albert Einstein, he did not have a bigger brain. He had more gray matter. When we meditate and do breath work, we get smarter. We also, this is one of the best ways to get us out of the system that we were talking about in our nervous system, which is the stress system. It can put us right into the parasympathetic program, which is how we are going to get the most amount of information from our environments. For sure, getting ourselves out of the chronic stress, which is the sympathetic state, that's so important from our health. Yeah, and go to the next one, which is the most important part. What all of this does for our nervous system, like I've been talking about. A healthier body and mind optimizes neural signaling, reducing noise in the system and enhance the interplay between sensory input and emotional depth. When we reduce inflammation and stress, lower the amygdala's reactivity, allowing the prefrontal cortex to integrate emotions with context. This enables a more nuanced response. So we can feel joy rather than just being triggered. Cognitive clarity. Optimal sleep and nutrition enhance working memory and attention, enabling the brain to hold multiple sensory inputs simultaneously. A healthy nervous system bolstered by neuroplasticity adapts to new stimuli with curiosity rather than fear. So we can actually override our fear systems if we have a healthier body. And the nervous system in general, right? So the nervous system, the spine, and the brain, then extends to the rest of our body. We have perceptory cells in our eyes, nose, mouth, skin. We go into basically, there's the autonomic nervous system, which is what's happening when we're not thinking about anything, all the functions of our body. And then the two programs, so the parasympathetic and the sympathetic. The sympathetic part of our nervous system is the stress response, which is wonderful. We don't have to demonize this. We need this part of our nervous system. If you're being chased by a lion, you want your body to be laser focused. You want to be able to focus on one sensory input and get the heck out of there for your survival. Your body then adapts and it starts using less energy. So you're using less energy so you can gain more. So that means that you're not utilizing your energy as well. I mean, you are for this certain circumstance, but if you're constantly in a stress state, you're not going to be utilizing your fat storages as well. So you're going to hold on to a lot more of that. And then we get into the parasympathetic, that's our rest and digest. And that, again, is where we're going to receive the information that we need to receive and be in tune with ourselves and be able to withstand this crazy political environment because we're going to be grounded in ourselves. We're going to be able to see because we're not going to be overloaded with stress. So by prioritizing sleep, nutrition, exercise, stress management, and gut health, individuals can rewire their nervous system for resilience and heightened awareness, turning everyday moments into profound encounters with the world. Increasing our intuition. Intuition is a healthy nervous system. That's it. Thank you.
No, not there yet. Okay. Oh, thank you so much, Bree. So much to learn. All right. At this point, we've got people doing the offering already. So yeah, you can play a little background music for us. Jerry. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, Jerry, let's give a prayer for the money.
A prayer for the money that we have, but also for our life with compassion, love, peace, and joy. So begin to take a breath. Breathe in easy. And breathe it out. And breathe it in. And breathe it out. And now feel the energy of your body feeling better with the breath. And now I want you just to imagine the spirit that you are, leaving your body now and going out into the universe of spirit, the spirit of the universe, where all the spirits can gather together in light and compassion and love. And feel that in your whole body now. I am light, I am compassion, I am love, always and forever. And now feel all of us that are here together in that light and compassion and love. We are a oneness of spirit of the universe together again for ourselves, our family, our light, our love, our peace, our joy to be together again. Hello, hello, hello.
Amen,
amen, amen.
Thank you, Jerry. All right. Let's quickly say our church affirmation on the white card. All right, so our church affirmation is under the principles. We totally accept the belief that God is in charge of the affairs and direction of Lake Superior Interfaith Community Church. As our thoughts of trust and joyful anticipation join in harmony with all the thoughts members of this fellowship, we attract the right ministerial leadership and people to our spiritual community. And we are grateful. So being grateful, let's stand up and sing a song, and then as we finish that song, we'll come up here and sing our last song.
269, go tell it on the mountain.
Rang out the angel chorus that hailed our Savior's birth. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. Down in a lonely manger, the humble Christ was born. And God sent us salvation that blessed Christmas morn. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain, Jesus Christ is born.
Thank you, Michael. All right, come on up as you are gathering here for our final circle and our final song. I'll read the meditation or the benediction. Which one was that, Steve? Harmful, hazardous energies, organisms, substances. Oh, that one. Okay, thank you. All right, Source Creator, bless our food, our air, our drink, our medications, our supplements each and every day. to remove all negativity and to leave only what is the highest and best. And add what is missing to create an ideal nutritional balance, health, and heal any exaggerated consequences of nutrition, and restore a healthy equilibrium in the working body for the well-being of all who partake. And with that, let's sing our final song. God be with you till we meet again. By his counsel's guide uphold you. On his love securely fold you. God be with you till we meet again. God be with you till we meet again. Hide his wings protecting hide you. Daily manna still provide you. God be with you till we meet again. Hooray! All right, listen, Johnny. Jack. And I could love peace and joy forever in your beautiful
Watch your foot. Oh. Watch your foot. You're talking about the cable?
Yeah, a couple of them there.